Benvenuto and welcome back to the Capo for Christ channel. I'm Brother G, and I want to quickly recap the Totem gods. I want to recap it all so that it makes sense, and I hope nothing went over anybody's head. So basically what happened when King Saul committed suicide and fell on his sword, 3 of his sons were also killed in battle. The Philistines decapitated the dead king, they took his body, and they set up a totem. Now, the Philistines have been eternal enemies of God's children since the beginning. Since the time of Judges, Samuel, who was a judge, he fought with the Philistines, had problems with them. So the Philistines were always trying to conquer Israel, God's children. So what they did was they seized the moment. The king's suicide gave an open door and gave power and authority to the Philistines to work their wicked magic. And what they did, they made a totem out of King Saul. The captain of his guard quickly grabbed one of his sons, his 40-year-old son, so an elder son that did not die in battle. He probably wasn't a warrior, Ishbosheth. And he took him to the mountain, Mount Gilboa, and basically did a quick making ceremony and made him the king over northern Israel. Meanwhile, they were working all their magic. King David obviously wasn't with this. Now, there was a competition, not even really a competition. God's chosen was David. Now, King Saul was chasing David for 20 years, trying to kill him and all kinds of stuff that was going on there. So after the death of King Saul, King David now, who wasn't king yet, took the tribe of Judah and the Levites and went south into Judea, and they followed the Most High God. The rest of them, the other 10 tribes, as we saw in scripture, stayed in the north and got entrapped, encapsulated into the magic that the Philistines cast over Israel, because this was now in, between 1000 and 900 BC. Within 100 years, 150 years or so, in the 700s comes the first invasion of the Assyrian to wipe out Israel and throw them into captivity. But what I want to focus on here is the reason why the northern tribes were so wicked, and we get rulers like Ahab and Jezebel, is because of the magic that the Philistines did on King Saul. When he died, they made a totem out of him, and his sons were killed, and one of his other sons was quickly made king, and he died within, not died, he might have died within 2 years, I don't remember, but he reigned for 2 years. Usually when a king stops reigning, he gets killed. And so led the chain of events that led God's children astray, and they got into all the pagan worship and stayed there for a very long time. There's an infiltration that happens during the time of Nehemiah, which we'll get into in future discussions and sermons, which is where the first infiltration of the Ashkenazi comes in. Because it needs to be properly explained that, the people that are in Israel right now are not the true Hebrews, okay? Everybody, well, most everybody knows that. Most are afraid to say that, okay? I don't care. So we'll get into that. That happened during Nehemiah's time, and there's an interesting piece in the Gospels too where Jesus even talks about it. So anyway, I wanted to recap the Totem gods for now. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. So